Hey guys, thanks for joining me for Sunday night worship this week. This week I wanted to focus on James 1, talking about trials and maturity of our faith. I know for a lot of us this semester has been really difficult, and for some of us we've been enduring other trials besides school, and a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives as well. And so I just wanted to share this message and hope that it encourages you today. So starting in James 1 verse 2, consider it a great joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its full effect, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. Now if any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives to all generously and ungrudgingly, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith without doubting. For the doubter is like the surging sea, driven and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord, being double-minded and unstable in all his ways. Let the brother of humble circumstances boast in his exaltation, but let the rich boast in his humble humiliation, because he will pass away like a flower of the field. For the sun rises, and, together with the scorching wind, dries up the grass. Its flowers fall off, and its beautiful appearance perishes. In the same way, the rich person will wither away while pursuing his activities. Blessed is the one who endures trials, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God had promised to those who love him. No one undergoing a trial should say, I am being tempted by God, since God is not tempted by evil, and he himself shouldn't tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when he is drawn away and enticed by his own evil desires. Then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and when sin is fully grown, it gives birth to death. Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. By his own choice, he gave us birth by the word of truth, so that we may be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. And then I just wanted to read a little Bible study that goes along with James 1, and the title is Rejoice in Suffering. Have you ever noticed how in times of pain and trial, we comfort our friends, loved ones, and even ourselves with words like, you're going to make it through this, tomorrow will be better, and what can I do to ease your pain? Our end game is an end to suffering. We pray for the bad times to go away. We beg that they would never come at all. The whole industry of mylar balloons and teddy bears exists bearing the sentiment, get well soon. We ask the Lord to remove our thorns, to help us endure our hardships, and to bring us through suffering as unscathed as possible. But James had an entirely different take on trials. Consider it a great joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials. James 1 verse 2. Don't get over them. Don't rush through them or past them. Rather, rejoice in them. James tells us not to be so hasty to escape the faith-testing valleys, because those valleys contain the fertile soil needed to produce steadfastness. And steadfastness, being immovable, unable to be shaken, and deeply rooted, is perhaps the true wellness we should all be seeking. As Christians, we eagerly say we want to be like Christ. The term Christian, after all, means little Christ. But many of us really only are asking for the good stuff. Lord, make us loving and patient and joyful. We sing in chorus and with enthusiasm. But while Jesus was indeed all of those things, he was also described by the prophet Isaiah as a man of suffering who knew what sickness was. Christ himself learned obedience through his own suffering. And friends, it's from those dark yet fertile valleys that steadfastness begins to spring forth, first sprouting from faith, then budding into love and flowering into both patience and joy. Today, or tomorrow, or whenever you find yourself in a place of trial, do not minimize it or rush through it. Instead, give thanks to the Lord. Pray for endurance and steadfastness from the one who has already endured and proven himself steadfast. As backwards as it may feel, this difficult trial or painful suffering is a time to thank the Lord. This is the time to rejoice. We do not rejoice because bad things happen or because this poor, fallen world is full of death, injustice, or sorrow. No, we rejoice because the sovereign Lord calls us his own. He loves us enough to descend with us into the dark yet mysteriously fertile valleys, to produce in us a steadfastness which cannot be shaken. Thanks be to God. Blessed is the one who endures trials, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. James 1, verse 12. As we go into this upcoming week, approaching Easter, I know that school is crazy busy for us all, and I challenge you all to just take time to rejoice in the trials that you're facing and to seek Christ and his peace above all. Thanks.